Log number 5. We ended the last episode on a bit of a downer, but that's fine, right? After all, dips are an important part of the narrative, so surely the rise should be next. Yeah, about that. Dr. McGillicuddy was still taking his revival personally in the worst way imaginable, and Stephen was, well, still Stephen. But there was a history and some sense of camaraderie with these two, so it was time for the Awakened to make a case and hope for the best.
Hey, Doc. Mind if I sit down?
Well, why? So that you can have a friendly chat with me about how amazing your best friend, the murder god, who stabbed you, by the way, since you obviously forgot, is, and how I should just stop complaining and do what she wants?
Oh, no. I just want to say again how good it is to have you back. And that I might know a little bit how you feel.
Betrayed, and yet vindicated with the confirmation that the only people who've been sticking around for more than a few minutes all sided with the monster who used me as a stress ball for eons?
Hey, I don't think people are choosing sides, man. We're on your side, too.
Clearly not.
I mean, you're not wrong to feel the way you do. I can't imagine all you've gone through. Just know that I'm here for you. A lot of us are.
I apologize if I was unclear or otherwise obscure with my words. It was never my intention to mislead. Allow me to be as clear as I possibly can. Fuck off.
All right, man. I'll leave it at that. I'm glad you're back.
All right, that's a tag out. Here. You just got back. Have a drink.
Done.
Ah, great. What a fucking waste all over the floor. You must be thirsty then. Here, have another.
Done with that
I
one.
see.
Oh, and here comes another. How
Mhm.
many of those do you have, you headstrong inebriate?
As many as I need, my friend. If you want to play this game, I'm happy to play. It's been a while since we have. Eventually, you're gonna get tired enough to listen to what I gotta say.
And you're willing to wager that eventually will happen before our annihilation?
Obviously, but we both know I will find a way to keep it up even beyond. So, you want to actually take a sip instead of wallowing, or are you just not satisfied yet?
Satisfaction was ripped away from me the minute I was dragged back in here. Any sip of this might make me start going insane, like the rest of you, and thinking about flocking to the side of an insane god who wants to control all of fate. Bring on the bottles, Mr. Reed. This floor shall be flooded.
I actually can't think of anything else worthy of drowning in. Gotta correct you on one thing, though, because you keep seeming to insist that we're on the murder god's side, which is factually incorrect.
Oh, did she swear that she wanted to help you again? This is what, the 5th time now?
No. More like she got godhood ripped out of her chest and left in a practically comatose state for the last 6 hours, as she just got readjusted to being human again. She's powerless, pathetic, and alone. She's on our side now, not the other way around.
Ah, so she's going through more theatrics than usual. No wonder all of you got fooled. It's all pretend, it always is. The instant she has a chance to get that power back, she would stab all of you in order to get it.
Alright, back on the track of not willing to see any other way than what you choose. I got ya.
Mr. Reed, I really don't think this is going anywhere. I'd be pissed to quit while you're ahead.
Yeah, he wants to keep his current view, but I'm not stopping.
Hey everyone! So I found Junior, told him we willed Doc and Steven back into existence, but while I was waiting on my cookies, he got lost again. Ah!
Oh,
Ow!
shoot.
Oh, I just got pizza grease out of my sweater, and now it's covered in whiskey.
Here, up you go. I got some paper towels since they were out of napkins.
Thanks, Haley. Well, I managed to save the cookies at least.
All right, cookies!
Are they evil like the pretzels were?
No, they're just chocolate chip. They're warm, and the chocolate's all melty. Would anyone else like some?
Oh, why, thank you, Lottie. I would love a cookie, thank you.
Yeah, I'll second that. Thank you, Miss M.
Get your tainted cookies away from me, Hellspawn.
That's fair. Anyone else?
Gimme, 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 gimme.
Might as well have some since they're here.
Yeah, cookies.
Yeah.
Thank you for the offer, but I do not want to get chocolate on my gloves. Alas, one of the downsides of these.
Can you not take off your gloves to eat a fresh cookie?
No, they wrap around my back. I would have to therefore strip to do so, and that is simply far too much for one cookie.
Jesus, I'm sorry for your loss. Grace? Cookie?
I'm too bitter for sweet things.
Never change, Grace Garden. Anyone else? Steven?
I don't feel hungry. In fact, I haven't felt hungry for a while since I've been here. I'm sorry, should I want a cookie?
Oh, we don't actually need to eat here.
Ever do anything for fun, Stevie?
Well, I used to enjoy acting, and then it ended very badly.
Oh, so that actually... Stephen, you can have my cookie.
I guess, yeah. Okay, so, well, first of all, I'll say outright, Steven, I got your backstory from a donation. I didn't write it myself, but it also makes sense that it was your actual backstory. The Void doesn't like straight falsehoods. Pushing the truth and putting myself in as the devil? Sure, but everything else checks out. Including the evil French monks taking you in and one of them being an ambitious bastard sorcerer.
Great! Thanks, Chair.
Sweet. You want to turn, Stephen?
Why? Kicking the chair would hurt. Why are you even doing that, Miss Wong?
Oh, it's Guy.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a whole thing. It's fine. Apparently he can't do anything but be a chair. Speaking of your backstory and, well, you, Steven, now that we have a moment, maybe, we should talk.
okay.
So, CG is gonna destroy the void with us in it.
You mentioned so to the grumpy old man.
Yes, and we are trying to avoid such a scenario. In order to prevent such an apocalypse from occurring, we must unite 12 souls. Given the amount of people we have right now, it would be extremely helpful if you felt so inclined as to help us prevent our demises.
Sounds reasonable so far.
Put simply, do you want to live or die?
Well, I mean, if I was given the choice of being alive or being dead, I would choose being alive.
All right, cool. Well, considering we're well beyond whatever job you had, I'm gonna assume you mean that and go on from there.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong, Mr. Cutter. I do want to believe you, but with all due respect, you did stab Miss Sam, and I mean, we all agreed not to do that, so...
Yes, I was told to do that, and I did it.
Okay, I think the issue here, Stephen, is that we're not really comfortable telling you what to do. We want you to make the choice yourself. So, do you think you could, tell yourself what to do, if that makes sense?
It does not.
Ugh.
Oh my god. All right, okay. Steven, are you doing anything for anyone anymore?
I am talking because you said we should.
Okay, cool. For now, you're with us. I'm gonna give you as many creative liberties as you'd like.
Okay.
Okay, I'm glad we're doing... I'm sorry, y'all are still pouring whiskey over there?
Yes.
Yes!
Oh, all right. Cool. I guess this is still happening.
Alright, well, that's one more soul and a growing sea of whiskey, I guess. If you drown me in alcohol, I will not forgive either of you. Anyway, where do we go from here?
Well, regardless of what's happening, this place still runs on stories. So, what plot hooks do we have? What can we use?
Well, I mean, when I was writing, I usually tried to give, 3 episodes to a character arc and let the climax be the backstory. But we have Steven's backstory, and I do not have Doc's story. That is how we got here.
Working on it.
Oh, thank you for admitting it's all a ploy to hand over my story to the god of suffering. Nice to have honesty for a change, Mr. Reed.
Jesus
I
Christ.
can't do anything with your your story. I'm a dumb, powerless half-god thing, nor would I want to do anything with it. But the guy who does have the power is gonna have to move things along somehow. So the question is, what else do we have, aside from... I don't want to mess with Doc if he doesn't want to be messed with. I don't know about all of you, but I'd rather not deal with Frenchie not being a chair, so we can't have a backstory from him, and Gikmillicuddy is a speaker now. But who does that leave us with?
Oh! The narrator!
Right! If there's anything a god loves, it's talking about themselves. I would know. And he went off on about how the Black Star version of history is incorrect, so maybe we ask him for his version of events and we see what happens.
Watch me swoosh wide in. Swoops. Okay. Hey. Hi. Just stopping by for 2 quick announcements. Actually more like 2.5. 1. Build-A-Bear has whiskey dripping into it. The bears are sloshed.
Fuck.
2. I need pictures. Pictures of Spider-Man.
Why?
You know exactly why. 2.5. Is that a whiskey stain on your sweater? Oh my god, I can't believe you're a little mini wino now.
I just got back my sense of smell, and every
Not
whiff
wine.
of this is risking me going into unconsciousness.
You're still going.
Sorry, I'm a bit locked in a battle of attrition here.
Oh, hey, CG, while you're here, why don't you tell us about your OCs?
My what?
That is, here, meaning your original canon, quote-unquote. What makes the Chaos God, the Chaos God?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what OC means. It's just like, how having a bit of trouble trying to apply it to the current situation. See, everything that exists, technically speaking, with like a couple degrees of separation, is my OC.
Wait, does that make the Black Stars your OCs as well?
They told you they came first, huh?
Oh my god. Every pantheon thinks they're the ones that came first. Black Stars, they say they came first, but they also don't control every dimension anymore, or possibly ever, depending on who you ask. So, everybody says they're the Big Bang and everyone else is faking.
So says the OC.
Oh, so you're responsible for this whole mess that you hate? Weird. I thought you had better taste.
Oh, I did say technically, and with a couple of degrees of separation 6 lines ago. Did you not scroll up to read that?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, all I'm saying is things got out of hand.
Uh-huh.
Which is how I like it. Except this particular bit of getting out of hand sucks. Actually, you know what? It's really complicated. So in the meantime, let's do something fun. I'll tell you after a scenario.
Chaos God grabbed our plot hook and skipped across the new Whiskey Sea with it. Whether that was good or not remained to be seen, and in the meantime we had other sights to see in the Museum of Multiversal Madness. The museum in question took on a vaporwave aesthetic for the sake of human comprehension, but unfortunately that meant folks got a little focused on that, even with the new assistant to the manager Stephen Cutter doing his best to maintain order. Everything after that point was, predictably, chaos. From accidentally unleashing some cursed purple monkeys into the Big Bang to unleashing eldritch horrors on unsuspecting museum patrons. In the meantime, however, Grace took a bit of time to chat with Vincent about how her obsessions over the dock situation had done more harm than good. Coming to a revelation, she burned her notes and got one step closer to freeing herself of that whole mess. After that, Haley had a little chat with Hugo, getting some advice on how to catch the silver lining when all seems hopeless. It's always good to get another tool in your toolbox in your fight for mental health. Lastly, Percy and Valencia had a little chat over their attempts to clean the bathroom, finally discussing the elephant in the room regarding that whole aborted romance and the tension between them. Percy admitted that with all that had happened around them, he was feeling a little numb and he just needed a bit of space. Hopefully one day they can come back together as friends on Percy's terms. In the meantime, however, they made for less than effective employees, and their attempts to clean the bathroom accidentally opened up the elemental plane of water, thus ruining the museum. Well, that's a game of resistance for you. Once the museum had been properly annihilated according to Chaos God's wishes, he followed up on his promise to dispense his backstory. It was certainly something.
Well, that was quite the fun excursion. The multiverse is ruined, exactly the way how I like it, so thanks everybody for that. Now then, I did promise a story, didn't I?
You did!
I did.
Are you interested in telling it?
I am, yes. You might want to sit down, go grab a drink. It's gonna be a little bit of a doozy. I'm gonna hope your feeble mortal minds can handle it. So, in the beginning, there was nothing. And me. Now, nothing is boring. So, I changed that. And BAM! The universe was born! It looked cool as hell. The nothing wanted to say nothing, of course, but I don't really give a shit about its opinion. The thing about the universe, though, is it's stagnant. And once you see what it has to offer, it's also boring. So I broke it apart and started again. And again. And again. Eventually, I wasn't alone in doing that, though. Things of the base elements that I used to smash worlds together started taking on lives of their own. The water, the earth, the air, the fire. Of course, people made up a lot more elements later, but as far as I know, I don't have a kid that's the anthropomorphic personification of Ununium. Now, these kids, they stuck around. They fought a lot, but they ended up making and breaking worlds too. Call them kindred spirits, if you will. It was nice, while it lasted. Well, obviously it didn't last, or not only would I not be here, you would not be here. See, during one of the incarnations of the universe being destroyed and reborn, there were some realms. I don't want to say parallel, because that's not quite correct. Imagine reality is like an onion. Peel back the layers, get to the outer parts, and you get to where the Fae and the New Men hang out. And these guys, creatures of pretty substantial magic, decided they liked the world exactly how it was. And before the primordials could break it, they decided to fight back. Hard. What an absolute spectacle. You people haven't seen war until it involves stabbing someone with the sun. Oh, the wiping wind was pissed after that one. But see, all the time the Newmen were trying so hard to preserve the world they were fighting, using bits and pieces of, I was learning. Studying exactly what they did, so I could tear it out from under them when the time was right. I was almost ready too. But then, Pantalasa, she thought she had better chances working with them. Or thought she'd have a better chance ruling anything if she acted as like the triple agent. Never could get a good read. Either way, she switched sides, and the war turned, and they got me. In the beginning, there was nothing, and there was me. What was I? Well, I don't like labels. I don't like being defined. To define chaos is not to comprehend it. But that's what the Newmen did. Chained me up, locked me behind a door, gave me form, gave me definition, gave me a name. Ozilthog. Worse yet, they called me something. A title that wasn't just the personification of the primordial chaos that is creation. Chaos God. As if I'm just another one of them. Oh, yeah, they started calling themselves gods. That part was implied before, but might as well say it. It causes me pain, you know? I'm not supposed to have any of that stuff. I'm just supposed to be. Hell, even taking the reins of this place, the fucking void, it fucking hurts. But I gotta do it, because the alternative is worse. And I guess the gods thought their alternative was better, because shoving me aside and leaving me to rot was their idea of saving their world. Like I am saving every world. And see, I'd get that. I wouldn't agree, but I'd understand that point of view of wanting things to stay as they are because you like them that way. If they didn't turn right around and smash the old world to build a new one in their image. With the help of my kids, of course. Their leader, the big guy in charge of leading the charge against me, he calls himself the All-Father now. As if he's king of the gods from which all other life emerged. It's a load of bullshit. An attempt to muddy the waters. To get people's attention, off of me. Or the void. Oh, yeah, around this incarnation, people were made. Mortals and the like. That part was implied before, but might as well say it. And then, who comes knocking at the doors of reality? But her, capital H, and her goon squad. You know damn well who, the woman whose name I can't say unless y'all want to explode and have every molecule be placed on the surface of a different sun. The one who decided that she was actually the one who made all reality, and wanted all of it back. Gods, am I right? Take your eyes off of them for 2 seconds, and they just keep spawning and insisting they made the world. Of course, the Allfather and his goons aren't fans of that. Neither are gods from other realities. Everyone who's around at the time comes together to fight. And it's a hell of a fight, but they're having some trouble. So they call in a Hail Mary. They open my door, remove my chains, and let me loose. And I rip that jellyfish apart, over and over and over, until she fits nicely into that space between dimensions. And then she's the one locked up so she can't bother anyone. It's cathartic. Then, of course, the ungrateful bastards expect me to either go back to the cage quietly, or go down in another god war. And that wasn't happening. So, I moved. From reality to reality to reality. Peeling back the onions, diving in and out. They knew I was out there. They just didn't have the reach to stop me. Stop me from what, I hear you ask? Killing gods. I mean, think about it. What else would I do? They're nothing but trouble. They come in, swinging their metaphorical dicks around and declare, I am ruler and master of this domain! Usually taking that domain from people who are perfectly happy without one. They're never benevolent. A lot of them actively seek to make others miserable for their own benefit. We're better without them. Of course, I've been doing this for a while. I recognize there are some it's better to keep around than others. Black stars, though. They kept being a problem. See, she, capital S, was smart when it came to keeping her and her cronies around. She tied them in so deep to their concepts that I couldn't just waltz up to their door with an exploding candygram and that would be that. And she was slow, relatively speaking, to make new ones. But when she did, there wasn't any undoing that. Story says she needs 13, counting her. Technically true. Number 6, fate here, is the point of no return. If the jellyfish gets fate on her side, that's it. No one can make any sort of opposition against the black stars. Any door that opens for a move into a new dimension, the new place loses. Period. Because she says so. Now, I, like most people, am a fan of choice. Of doing whatever you want. You want. Not some jackass in the sky. So that wasn't gonna fly. But the rat wouldn't let me in. And the twink wouldn't let me in, because they were smart. But lucky me, the raven wasn't. I poked and prodded for eons, looking for a way to take down the black star-making machine. And I found the only way to do that would be to take the controls myself and overload the thing. And to do that without getting ripped out by people who knew what they were doing, I needed agents. Once I started gathering, Steven was an obvious choice. The perfect player. One she'd never suspect until he got close enough. Until he got close enough one way or another, rather. To run her through the gut and hand off that power to me. Frenchie was a hell of a distraction. Someone that obviously evil and powerful would have been the obvious target if anything went wrong. Gick Millicuddy to annoy the mini wino was hilarious as hell. And Doc, well, Doc is special. Where are they from? Oh, come on, this is a museum of multiversal madness. I'm talking about other realities. They're from other dimensions. Now pay attention, this gets real complicated. In Kato's dimension, the Industrial Revolution started in France, boosted along by ancient magic. They beat the shit out of the Nazis and used that industry to boost themselves even further. Stephen was from a dimension where the Industrial Revolution was super boosted by magic in England, all thanks to Merlin, who saw, there might be a problem here now that I see the problems of these other guys, and so just threw him into another dimension, the French one, because Merlin's a dick. And so I picked up 3 of the 4 from that dimension, at different times. Stephen came first with the theater fire. You could tell I picked up in 75 after the whole Atlantis incident. Gigmillicuddy? Well, okay. Just imagine a split timeline where I didn't pick up Stephen. And after all that assassin training, he just kind of stopped giving a shit and let himself go. That's Gigmillicuddy. And Doc is special. Figured that was implied. As for the rest, well, I'm pretty sure you know that by now. I'm here. I'm overloading the system. It hurts having form, it hurts tying myself to a story, it hurts just being here, but I gotta, because no one else can. I am freeing reality itself from having choice, and then everything else, literally everything else, taken away. And you have problems with that for some reason. It's fine. Gods and their worshippers were assholes long before you. They'll be that way long after you. I'm just doing what I can to stop that spread. Eternity is worth the pain.
You know, funny enough, your goals are the same as ours. Technically, when she had a little more control, the same as Lottie's originally, too.
I mean, more or less, yeah.
Alright, well, once again, I feel the need to stress that I am fine with all of this, with everything that is going on, with the inevitable annihilation if it comes to that. How about maybe instead of seeing us as an opposition, I don't know, let us help in some way? I'd love to fuck around with the Void however I can.
Yeah. Why the fuck are we fighting this in the first place? We literally have the same goals, as well as a mini Black Star herself on our side here. She wants to take this down, same as you. Again, she wants the same thing as you do. We want the same thing as you do. We want to keep our choice, Ozzy. Tactical advantage.
No. Don't get fucking confused here. The wino is on the wino's side. You happen to be useful idiots. Emphasis on the idiots. You can't help because you're fucking bad at it.
I don't know about that. We just willed Doc and Steven into existence out of thin air. Also, there's a lot that can be done with chaos with a narrative.
Not to mention the capabilities we've proven ourselves to be, well, capable of with our narrations. I mean, if anything, I think, given that, we've proven that at this point anything's possible.
And if we're so bad at it, educate us. A soldier doesn't know how to fire a gun when it gets handed to him. A baby doesn't know how to walk until they're taught.
All right. You want instruction? You want to make sure that you get it right? Cool. You got a couple eons to spare? The answer is no. No, you don't.
Well, you get us out of here alive and we'll have plenty of time.
Ezra, what he's trying to say is he's too proud to admit he doesn't know what he's doing.
What Grace is trying to say is, I am very smart woman. Everyone recognize how snarky and cool I am because I have a terrible, terrible ego and a need for validation. See, I can put words in your mouth too.
Deflection. Child's tactic.
Oh, no wonder you're Baku's baby. You sound just like him.
The fuck did you just say?
Okay, everyone stop before he switches around the parts of your all the different parts of your face. I think it's been made very clear by now that as much as I think it would benefit us all to get the fuck out of here and destroy this place together, gods don't appreciate human help or human feedback.
Gods are mean.
You ain't kidding.
Okay, well, speaking of human feedback, since you are one again now, do you want to explain if you do or do not actually know him from before he showed up dramatically?
Okay, look, when I first became a god, this bastard waltzed in, called me the new kid, was generally snarky, and then he went on his way. And then he kept doing it every couple of centuries while I tried to shoo him out. Go figure, he always seemed to find his way back.
You just allowed this? One would imagine the powers of a godling could prevent trespasses.
Oh, I'm sorry! Would you like to explain to the horrifying dear god that not only are you bad at your job, but also some weirdo keeps popping into what's supposed to be a sealed void? That sounds like a great way to get squished, and that's if Cernos is feeling reasonable and he is never feeling reasonable.
Ew. So, he basically had carte blanche on annoying you for centuries because he knew you wouldn't say anything. Ugh. Real classy, Tim. It sounds like a no-win situation, Lottie. I'm sorry. It must have been awful.
It was.
So, Chaz, just to clarify, all 4 of the guys Bill Cipher here dropped into the void are all Stevens. He deployed like, what, 3 or 4 Stevens into the void and you didn't notice? Listen, I mean, to be fair, usually they've been swapping in and out, which kind of makes sense given that they're different versions of the same guy and might take up the same slot in whatever game thing this is, but, like, how long has Doc been in here again?
I don't know. Time isn't real? It's been a long time. He just popped up and, well, first I thought maybe I made a deal on accident, and then I was like, wait, that's impossible, and he was still here, and wow, would you look at that? The whale god has shown up because I'm behind on things, and now I'm drowning. Would you add that problem by saying some extra soul popped in without your permission?
And yet you still failed to do anything when 3 others showed up.
Okay, so one time there I was running a scenario and I was missing a person because they were just too tired to be in my cool rendition of Cowboy Bebop, but it's werewolf, and then she showed up and was like, so long, space cowboy, and then she rewired my brain. Have I made it clear yet I was in a goddamn situation? Sometimes when shit's stressful, problems go on the later pile, and then later doesn't happen because the now pile is literal eons.
Breathe! For goodness sake!
Okay, but when this mildly inconvenient thing happened, why didn't you drop everything and address it? Please reconfirm what you said to the last 3 people, for my amusement.
Oh! What's this in my hand? Oh! It's a bird! It's for you!
I'm sorry, do all gods just defer to playground insults once they're stumped on something? Is that what y'all do?
No, shut up.
Alright, well, I am curious. This is all a show, and she's watching, right? So how did she and the other Black Stars not even fucking notice?
Okay, so you've hung around Val enough to be familiar with magic, right?
Right.
Right? Cool. Glamour is an enchanter's favorite go-to spell. To keep a long story short, this particular glamour, when cast over whatever, just makes people who look at it think, that's someone else's problem, and not think about it.
So, you threw a blanket over them, cool.
A magic blanket.
Haley, magic is much more complex than a blanket. This is a very complicated illusion type spell. One can simply remove a blanket, but one cannot simply remove a spell like this so easily. Goodness.
So Chaos God threw a magic blanket over Steven and the gang, cool.
Regardless, speaking of magic, the sorcerer Kato was quite powerful in his magical arsenal. Did his magic come from other gods unrelated to the Black Stars? I'm unfamiliar with much of his techniques, so it is not my pantheon. Is it the ones from your pantheon, since you're at least tangentially related to him?
I mean, yeah, sure, technically. You know, it doesn't really matter. They're my pantheon, they're addicting, whatever. Look, I'm bored. I have told my story, and you have all been playing nice, except for Grace, who's never nice, but I'll take what I can get. And little good children deserve a treat.
But that doesn't actually answer any questions.
Ah!
Get in the van.
So that certainly explains some things. I will say I came away from this unsure which creation story is correct, or if any of them are. But also, it's interesting to get perspective from pantheons beyond my personal cage. While the Black Stars are certainly an all-encompassing problem, it sounds like they aren't the only bastard deities. Shame I can't even handle my problem. Sounds like Chaos... Oz? Should I call him Oz? Either way, it sounds like he's at least somewhat successful at what I'm attempting to do. Or at least he is on the outside of the void. let's put a pin in that, shall we? Right, so as you heard at the end of the last clip, we all piled into the most disgusting van I've ever encountered for a field trip to the zoo. Once we got there, well, you know how it goes. It was time for some quality character development. Grace first sought out Steven to apologize for being a little mean to him in the museum scenario. Then they discussed the monkeys a bit, which may have been a bit of a metaphor for how Steven finds it easiest to just be told what to do than to make decisions for himself. He also discussed this with Haley, how not being in control was similar to being asleep in the games, how their actions weren't their own, how it can be liberating to not have to think for yourself. Both Grace and Haley did their best to advise Steven on taking small steps to find his own choices. Or at least consider the thought exercise of finding them. It's a start, at least. Speaking of Grace and Haley, the two also had a chat regarding their mixed feelings over the return of Doc and, well, me, but don't tell them I can read the script. Relationships are complicated, messy things, but at least they were able to support each other while they untangled the knots. After that, Grace ran into Junior, who has actually been making great strides in figuring out himself during his mall isolation. He even had some new snake bites to show for it. That said, he's still struggling with his humanity given the Black Star's influence on his life, but Valencia was there to set him straight during a visit to the reptile exhibit. Prior to her reptile visit, the princess had a few other conversations. First with Vincent in the gift shop, where they discussed their, changing views on theology given their situation. Then, fitting the previous theology discussion, she had a little chat with me while we fed the peacocks and I sought her advice on, ruling? Is ruling the right word for a failed god? I don't know. But then, maybe failure isn't entirely right either. Tommy didn't seem to think I'd failed entirely in our conversation, and I was even able to set him straight on his worries about Angelina. My chat with Oz was a little more mixed. I thanked him for, well, setting me straight, to be honest, and then attempted to broach the subject of our, similarities. He wasn't exactly open for conversation, but I will note at least he hasn't been calling me by my old name. I don't know, maybe I'm just too used to reading any neutral interaction with a male-presenting figure as positive, but I'll take it! Meanwhile, Hugo and Thorin spent some quality time together, bonding over their fears of tigers and, well, a significantly heavier topic of memory loss. But hey, they've got each other to support themselves through it. While this was happening, Percy and Ezra had a chat about the love triangle situation. I'm glad Percy is getting some space to talk about how all of this has weighed on him. I just hope he'll be okay. Lastly, Ezra checked in with Doc, who was unsuccessfully attempting to get eaten by lions. The talk went surprisingly civil as Ezra apologized for bringing Doc back and took the time to listen to how he was feeling. Maybe that's something we could all stand to try with him. At the end of a lo-fi chill-out day at the zoo, Chaos God had everyone line up to make sure we didn't leave anyone behind. Unfortunately, he should have been worried about a few things besides the head count.
Alright, everyone, line up by the van! Okay, everyone, hurry the fuck up. I need to do a head count. Make sure Doc wasn't eaten by the lions like you want it to be. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I see some sad faces. Okay, legit question here. Are some of y'all incapable of happiness? Straight up incapable? Because it's been a whole lot of complaining and depression and philosophy the last couple episodes.
When you're told you're gonna die, and in some cases are already actually depressed, you're gonna cry at least once, Oswald.
I'm not actually sad, but I did realize as we were leaving that we cannot simply go to the zoo as often as we would like. It would be nice if it was connected to the mall. And, it's also unfortunate that the animals aren't actually real, and there weren't enough animals from Canticus there, so it just made me a little homesick.
I had fun with the animals.
Me too!
Oh, I did also have fun.
Yes, I'm feeling a little happier. Look, I treated myself. I got this pin badge of a meerkat.
Ooh.
Does it also say snarky one-liners?
Grace, I think that's from Disneyland. It's Timon saying luau. Luau.
I was given a magnifying glass. I don't think it's an official zoo souvenir.
Souvenir.
Come to think of it. Yeah, wait a second. None of the shit in the gift shop has anything to do with the zoo. These are all copyrighted products!
Anything's a souvenir if you want it to be. None of this is real.
The pain is real, Mr. Reed. The pain is real.
You know, truly, I keep offering you a drink, and you keep not accepting it. So, at this point, you're choosing not to numb yourself.
I'll give it us. At least you ain't the one driving this time.
Anything we can do to help?
Yeah, boo-hoo. I love you too, Doc. Speaking of driving, fun trip's over. Now it's time to go ahead and...
Okay.
Oh,
fuck!
Jesus.
Shit! Okay. Oh, fuck.
And now this again.
Okay. Oh shit! That happened to me!
Wow, fucking fantastic! Great, we can bond over this.
Okay, Chaz, you're the expert. What's happening?
Fuck, shit, nobody died this episode. Okay, shit, fuck, Vinny, give me your gun.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Wait, stop!
All right.
Fuck! She just shot herself.
Charlotte?
Did she just...
Yep. What the fuck? Why the fuck? We're leaving the zoo! What the fuck was that? Why the fuck would you do that?
Ow. I mean, I thought it would be obvious. Running this place hurts. Especially when you're not playing by the rules.
Chaz, doesn't this guy hate your guts? Why would you blow your own brains out for him?
Because nobody deserves to be hurt like that.
You people. You fucking people. You never make any sense. If I got ripped apart, you'd have what you wanted, Charlie. You'd have that power back. And then you do this instead. You're insane. All of you.
Oh, this is perfect! Now look who's reaping what he sowed. You really are just like her.
Grace, he's fucking on edge right now. Now is not the time.
Oh, here we go! Grace Garden and all her priorities. What matters to you most in this moment is proving how smart you are, how snarky you are. Well, look where that has you, Grace. Right back here, tangled up in string. I'd ask if you're proud, but you are fucking drowning in your own pride.
And how many times are you going to tell me that? I've heard it all before. You're just boring me now.
Shut the fuck up!
Grace, quit pushing it.
Actually, there's an idea. A little callback of sorts.
Fuck.
Maybe with a twist on the whole drowning thing.
Oh.
Steven, come here.
No.
Yes, sir. I want you to understand this is all because Grace wanted to pretend she was clever. Your throat's now made of leeches.
Oh my fucking god!
Wait, no!
Oh, God.
No, stop what you're doing! Stop!
By the gods! He's still alive! How could you?
Stop! He didn't do anything! Stop!
Good God, man, are you off your rocker?
Steven, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, alright? Just hang in there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you bothered? Bored, perhaps? Want to say something else I can make out of this nothing so you can criticize that and say you've seen it all before, maybe? Because trust me, when it comes to pain, my imagination has no fucking limit. Fucking test me, Grace. Fucking test me, and we'll see how much more of your only friend I can break.
You bastard! I'm fucking dead!
Grace! Enough! He's a god. Do not enrage him.
My God, Chaos God Grace gets the point! Take the leeches out of Steven!
I'm pretty sure she doesn't get the point, and never will, because that's just her, and that makes her so cool. All that said, since never will's on the table...
There you go. There you go, Steven.
Easy there.
I'm
Easy
so
there.
sorry, man. You okay?
So, you had some criticism, and you responded with horrifying violence. It's not so easy behind the wheel, is it?
Shut up. Shut the fuck up. You all think you're all so fucking clever, so witty, so incapable of learning your goddamn lesson. Well, that doesn't mean I'm not gonna try. Y'all happy now? Y'all fucking happy that I felt pain and caused pain, huh? Y'all comfortable now that it's what you're used to? All patting yourselves on the back, knowing this was gonna happen all along?
Not particularly happy to be back to this song and dance. No. If you want my theory, personally, and this is nothing against you, I think the void's getting to you. I think it's trying to complete the cycle and you just happen to be on the throne, and I don't think it is working out very well, and I think something needs to be done.
Now, that explains what happened during the Puppet Gold scenario. It's trying to mold you into another one of them.
Oh, what? Let me guess what comes next. There, it's okay. You can all fix it. Just talk about your fucking problems and give up power. Is that what's gonna happen? Golly fucking gee! Therapy sure sounds great right now. Just let me blow you all up first and leave you all to scream on fire in the meantime. That's gonna be the price to pay for fucking mortals trying to force fucking therapy on this. Congratulations all. Go be proud. That Bible you referenced last episode, Haley, I think it mentions something about it coming before the fall. Everyone go back to the fucking mall. Have your fucking kumbaya. I thought this could be fun. I guess I'll have to make my own.
So, about the pin I discussed earlier. I know exactly how Chaos God is feeling, having been there myself, but I didn't expect things to go so quickly. It's like he's speedrunning my character arc in half a season. And here's the thing about that character arc. The only solution I could think to end it was to get 12 souls to unite against me, or kill me. And neither of these seem possible at the moment. Still, we'd better come up with something, because we're running out of pages in this book. How can we change the ending?